with you when we get to meet up at concerts. And I had you on the audio version of Kingdom Builder, our Christmas special. So it's great to have you back to talk about all the new stuff you have going on.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to talk about all the new music and it's always so good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Mhm. Yeah, it's been so cool to see how God has been working in your life and reaching people with these new songs the past few years as you've shared like little sneak peeks. And now we get to have the whole album of As I Am out for everyone to hear. Thinking about that as a whole, what was the process like to bring this album to life and picking these specific songs for the project?
Yeah, the process was long. I wrote over 100 songs for this album, and it's been a long process of getting everything out. Same God, it was actually the first song released for this project back in 2021. So it's been a long process of getting all these songs together to make this album. But as I always do, I see God's timing so much in just everything, how it's happened, just where I am now and how these songs apply to me today, even more than they did when I wrote them. Like, that's so interesting to me. It's just God almost like gives us a song before we even realize that we need it. And I just see his timing all over this album. It's been so fun. I worked with so many different producers to bring all these songs to life, so many different writers. And really, I just wanted this album to be honest and vulnerable. And I wanted it to sound like music that I love instead of just trying to make something that I thought other people would love or something that I thought would fit into Christian music, like the sound of it. I just wanted it to be something that I really loved and was proud of. And I feel like I did that. And I feel like I'm just watching God use these songs and the messages in the songs. And that's everything I could ask for. So it's been a really long process, but I'm so grateful for God's timing in all of it.
Yeah, I think that's something I've been noticing a lot in recent years is just like his timeline and his timing is so much better than ours could ever be.
Yeah.
And like you said, how you can go back and you can hear how these songs are even speaking to you differently now as they would have been when you first wrote them. And I just think that's so cool how he works like that.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
I feel like this is an album that a lot of people, myself included, like we've been looking forward to it for so long, and there's so many songs on here that we can relate to. Fear Not and Church Hurt, those two in particular, I would really love to hear a little bit more of the story behind because I think they have just the ability to reach people, given how like so many of us have been facing different things in our lives, and a lot of us still are. And these two seem to really just speak into the heart of a lot of those situations.
Yeah, thank you for loving those songs. That means so much to me because I feel like Fear Not and Church Hurt are two of the most raw songs on the album. And honestly, the two that I was probably the most afraid to share. Sometimes I feel like when we know that something is just really deep and really vulnerable, it just feels hard to share. But that's why I wanted to. I felt like God was really leading me to start talking about some of these topics that I had almost shied away from in the past. So with Fear Not, I think Fear Not is probably in my top three favorites on the album. I mean, it changes every day, but I feel like right now Fear Not is really special to me. I really just wrote this song as a raw look at what it's looked like for me to struggle with anxiety. I started struggling with anxiety when I was in high school for the first time. I really just struggled all throughout college, and that led to like tons of health issues and not sleeping at night. And it was just like a really hard battle for a while. And I still struggle with anxiety today. I'm not here to be like, oh, that was something that happened in the past and I'm perfect and healed now. I'm still praying for healing, but I'm still dealing with anxiety more than I wish I was. And I feel like that's the story of so many people that I meet. So many people on the road come up to me after I share about anxiety and say that they're struggling as well. And to hear someone talk about it makes them feel less alone. And that's really my hope for this song is just that the listener can feel like there's someone who understands how they feel. And even more than that, that God is right there in the middle of our most anxious moments and he sees us and he just loves us even then. All like he's even closer. I feel him closer in those moments when I feel anxious. And I don't know, Fear Not to me feels like an anthem, but also like a song that I can just listen to when I feel anxious and just let the truth wash over me. And so that's my prayer for the song. It's just that people who are struggling with anxiety or with fear would just hear the whisper of God reminding them that they don't have anything to worry about. He's taking care of everything and he's so kind to us. So that's Fear Not. And then Church Hurt. I wrote this song about 2 years ago and I started posting it on social media like right after I wrote it, which is kind of a no-no because the process to like get it out takes so long. And so, anyways, lots of people have been hearing this song for a long time. And I wrote this song because there was a huge trend in like 2022 where people were sharing their stories about church hurt and the fact that they had left the church or lost their faith because of something that happened to them in church. And I have experienced church hurt, and I have also had people close to me who have experienced church hurt and then chose to kind of leave their faith. And I felt like it was important for me as a believer and somebody who is a member of the church and part of the church to reach out to those people who have been hurt and apologize, but to also ask good questions to us as the church. Are we loving people the way that God calls us to? Are we giving them wounds and then just leaving them and not following up? Like I just feel like we can do better as a church. And so that this song is just really an invitation for us as the church to do better in loving people and apologizing when we have wronged someone, and then also reaching out to remind people that Jesus is the only one who can heal what a person has hurt. We are imperfect. We are striving to be more like Jesus every day, but we're imperfect. And it's going to happen that people are going to let us down and people are going to hurt us. But God is so good and he is nothing like the people who cause church hurt. And so I hope this song reaches the people that it's supposed to reach. And I feel like it already has reached a lot of people. I get messages all the time from people who are like, I haven't set foot in a church in 10 years, but I heard this song and it's the only Christian song that I can listen to right now. And that's the work of God. And I'm so grateful that he's bringing the song to the right people.
Yeah, I love hearing, like you shared a little bit there, stories like that. And I think it's so important how you brought up the fact that it's not God and it's not Jesus that's causing the pain that some of us have experienced within the church. It's the flaws of, humans. And we can't really, like, we can't blame God for that. It's our human nature sometimes. And it's really sad, but it's also very important to keep that in mind, that our relationship with him isn't dependent on how people treat us, or
Right.
how what we perceive. And sometimes people can take something meant for good and twist it around, and that just, gets into a whole bunch of other problems. But yeah, the song like this, and as you're saying, reaching the people that it needs to when it needs to.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
So another track that I love on the album is Changed. And earlier this year, you released a really cool music video for that. I love the concept for it.
Thank
So how
you.
did that come about?
Yeah, so we wanted to do a video that was visually really beautiful, but also told the story of what it looks like to be changed. So if you notice in the first part of the music video, I'm sitting in like a room that looks like someone's moving, or it's like all the furniture is covered and it's dark and rainy. And for me, like when I moved to Nashville and left everything that I knew in New York and moved to Tennessee, that's when I really struggled the most. That was kind of my rock bottom that I sing about in the song, of just struggling with depression and anxiety and needing Jesus to change my life. And that first part of the video is kind of representing me at that time, just feeling really alone and just feeling like I couldn't really get out of this pit that I was in. And we just try to convey that sadness, that despair, and like just show that time of my life. And then as the video goes on, it kind of starts, you see like flowers blooming coming across the floors and around the walls, and it's just a representation of what it looks like to be changed by God. It's not like always an all at once situation. It's like we experience his change. Like once we meet him, it's like this wow moment. But then it's like a process of letting his beauty and his love and his grace come into the dark places of our life and the most painful seasons of our life, and letting him change us from the inside out. And so by the end of the video, the room is beautiful. There's flowers everywhere. I was covered in flowers and grass and like in the room that day. But it just is what it looks like to be with Jesus. It's flowers, it's beautiful. It's our worst moments turned into the first line of our testimony. And I just wanted the video to convey that, even if you couldn't hear the song, to convey the message of the song, which is that Jesus makes beauty from ashes. And that's what he's done in my story and in my life. And so that video is really special to me. It just, yeah, it just shows my story visually. And I'm so thankful that my team was willing to like go there with me. And it was a long day to do that shoot with all the props and flowers and wardrobe change and all that stuff. It was like a full like 12-hour day. Um, but it was so fun and I'm so proud of it. And actually, a fun fact about the video that I did not even know, but now I do, is the dress that I'm wearing, the red dress. First of all, that was not the dress that I was gonna wear for the video. I was gonna wear a totally different dress. And we got there on the day of the shoot, and the people from my label were like, okay, this dress is not gonna work. We need to do a different dress because it needs to be like a more drastic transformation. And so I was like, okay, I'm down. Let's change the dress. So we changed the dress to a different dress, and it's the same dress that Tasha Layton is wearing in her Christmas special with Caleb. So me and Tasha are true sisters, just wearing the same dress, and it's like so beautiful. And anyways, I just thought that was so funny. I saw that, I was like, wait, we're wearing the same dress. I copied her. I didn't mean to, but I did.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing that like a word that comes to mind as I'm watching that video, which if you have not seen it yet, everybody that's watching this, you need to go check it out on Hannah's YouTube channel. But a word that came to mind is flourish, and how
Yeah.
like God can when he comes into our lives and when we can have that relationship with him, and it really can make our faith flourish like the flowers of the
Yeah.
field. And I feel like the video is just really cool to kind of bring that to, like a visual of that feeling as well. So
I
yeah, I
love
just
that,
love that.
Kelly. Yeah, flourish. I love that.
Are there any that maybe came to mean a little bit more to you throughout the process that you really just can't wait for people to hear more about?
Yeah, I feel like two that come to mind right now are No Conditions. That was actually like changed with the very last song that I wrote for the project, but No Conditions was the second to last song. And when we wrote that song, it just really is about the unconditional love of God. It's pretty simple, but there's just so many lyrics in that song that are so special to me. Like just the way that it's said. There's 1 Corinthians 13 is the bridge, and just to like sing scripture and to speak scripture, it just impacts me every time I listen to it. Um, just driving home that God is a good father who runs to meet us in our darkest moments, and there's no there's no condition to his love. Like we don't have to earn it. That's like the theme of the whole album, right? Is he loves us as we are. Like we don't have to earn the love of God. And so that song is really special to me, and I hope people love it and listen to it. And then another one that I absolutely love is Pray on It. It is just such a fun song. I am gonna sing it live this fall, and I'm so excited because it's just one that like I want to turn on in my car to like remind me that instead of worrying about something and just thinking about something over and over and over again, I gotta pray on it, like literally not just think on it, not sleep on it. Like I gotta pray on it and give it to the Lord, and then just be joyful because there's nothing I can do to change the outcome of a situation other than just giving it to God. And so No Conditions and Pray on It, I would say, are two of my favorites right now. And then just an honorable mention to The Things I Don't Know. Um, it's kind of like a sleeper track on the album. I feel like I don't know, it, like, if you're not really listening, you could miss it, I think. But for me, like, my testimony is, I knew Jesus my whole life. It wasn't until I was 14 that I really met him and like dedicated my life to him. But I've known him my whole life. And so I think about all the things that I never had to go through and the things that I don't even know that he's done for me. The storms that I haven't seen and the wounds that I never had to ask him to heal because he protected me from them. There's just so much that God is doing on our behalf all the time, and we don't even realize it. But that song is just me being grateful for the fact that God is God, and there's so much that He's doing behind the scenes, working in ways that I can't see. And it just brings me to a place of gratitude. Like, it's just a moment where I'm like, wow, like, you're doing more than I even realize, and protecting me from things like when I feel like a prayer wasn't answered or I didn't see what I thought I would from something, we don't even know what was really going on and what God has protected us from. And so that song, just as a songwriter, is one that I really love, and it just makes me think. And those are kind of my favorite types of songs, are the ones that you could only almost miss it if you don't listen closely. But, anyways, I would say those are three songs that I love right now.
That's really cool. And like I feel like our stories are actually a little bit similar, as you said that you've been a Christian your whole life, but it wasn't until you were a teenager that like maybe your relationship became more personal to you and you
Yeah.
really started to rededicate your life to Jesus. And it's very similar for me as well, because I think I was around 14, 15 when I started taking it more seriously. And yeah, just it is so amazing to think about all the things that he has protected us from that we don't even know.
Yeah.
And like you said, we can be thinking that a prayer was unanswered, but it really just wasn't answered the way that we were expecting it to be.
Right. Right.
So because he
Yeah.
always has our best interests at heart.
Yeah.
And I think that is a really cool, like with that, and then the theme of him loving us just as we are as well throughout this album. You also mentioned you're going to be back out on tour this fall with Big Daddy Weave and The Young Escape. And it's been really cool to see that you've been able to join them for multiple tours now. And I was able to see you guys with Tasha back in September of last year when you came up to New York. I had not been to a Big Daddy Weave like full concert of theirs before. So getting to experience that, and just like there was a prayer time too during that show where so many people came forward, and it was like the Holy Spirit was just extra present in that room. And it's like I even can get a little bit like, oh my goodness, thinking about it right now, because it was just so special.
Mhm.
And I really can't wait to see how it will continue to go as the tour starts up and everything. So what is something that you are looking most forward to about those nights?
It's exactly what you said. It's the moments with the Lord in prayer when people come forward, and we've seen miracles, like we've seen people healed. It's just been something that has built my faith so much, just watching what God is doing on those nights. And that's what makes me want to keep going with Big Daddy Weave, is just I see the fruit of their ministry. I see that God is meeting people right where they are all across the country. And it's built my faith, like not just as an artist, not just whatever. Like, I am more in love with Jesus as Hannah than I have ever been in my life. Like, I'm just so moved by their ministry. And I'm excited to do that again. I'm excited to grow more. Um, you can probably tell, but Mike Weaver is just a shepherd. Like, he is a leader, and we have learned so much from him. Like, he's such a minister, and he's so talented, but like, he's just such a minister, and we just have learned so much from him. I've grown so much. And so I'm excited to be with them again. This will be, I think, my fifth tour with them. So I've been with them for 2 years, and it's just gotten better and better. And I'm just so excited. The Young Escape also, like, we are best friends, like off of tour, like we are best friends. We hang out all the time. And when I got the call that this fall tour was being put together, I literally hung up the phone and cried because I'm just so grateful and so excited to be with my best friends, like people who feel like family to me. And I could not be bigger fans of the Young Escape. Their music, their hearts, they are just the most precious people I have ever met. And I'm so excited to be with them. We like text almost every day about like, okay, what are we gonna do on the bus? We're gonna make these coffees on the road, and like we're just so excited. So I'm just looking forward to the whole thing, the ministry, the community, the family, and singing new songs. I'm excited to sing new songs on the road.
Yeah, that is going to be very, very awesome. And like you said, it's really cool that you're able to have people that you love so much on the road with you, that you have these established like friendships. And I know that Jason still travels with you too. And
Yep.
that's another thing that's really cool, is to get to see you guys as a husband and wife get to serve in ministry together.
Yeah.
And I just think that is such an extra special thing. So I love seeing you guys out there too.
Well, thank you. It's such a privilege to be out there together. Like we are so grateful and it's just been so sweet. I could not ask for a better husband or a better partner in this ministry that we're doing. Like it's just he's amazing and I'm so grateful and I can't wait to be back out on the road together.
Yeah, we definitely want to encourage everyone to visit hannahkerrmusic.com. Check out those tour dates. Make sure you get to a show if it comes to your area, and connect with Hannah on social media. She does an awesome job of sharing so many special and like really heartfelt posts on there, in addition to the music. I'll be sure to link all of those in the description below this video. Also, make sure you check out her music and the new album, As I Am, everywhere it's available. Hannah, thank you so much for joining me today. This was awesome.
Thank you, Kelly. You're the best.